Jason had never meant to get so involved. Derek was his closest friend since high school, the kind of friend who had your back in parking lot fights and breakups alike. They'd gone to the same college, landed jobs in the same city, and when Derek moved in with his girlfriend Tina, it felt natural that Jason became a fixture in their apartment too. He was the guy on the couch during football nights, the extra hand during grocery runs, the quiet third wheel who never made it weird. Until it started to feel weird. Tina was smart. Funny in a subtle way. She didn't command a room, but when she spoke, Jason listened. At first, he chalked it up to admiration. He liked that Derek had found someone grounded, someone real. But the more time he spent around her, the harder it was to lie to himself. She noticed things about Jason that even Derek didn't anymore, like how he fidgeted with the corner of his sleeves when he was anxious, or how he always added sugar to pasta sauce. Even though it's weird, it was those small things that made him nervous around her. It didn't help that Derek had started changing. He was still loyal in his way, but less present. His job had gotten intense. Long hours, short temper. He'd joke about how Tina was needy when she asked him to stay home or spend time with her. Jason stayed silent during those conversations. He didn't think it was his place to speak up. But Tina's face always said more than her words ever did. One Friday night it rained hard. Derek had texted that he'd be late. Some issue at the office. Jason had come over to drop off a borrowed charger and stayed when Tina invited him to hang out. "You don't have to wait with me," she said, setting 2 mugs of hot cocoa on the coffee table. "I don't mind. I wasn't doing anything anyway," Jason said. They sat on opposite ends of the couch, a romantic comedy playing low on the screen. The mood was harmless, familiar. Halfway through the film, she laughed at a dumb line and leaned toward him, closer than usual. "Why don't real guys ever say things like that?" she joked, tilting her head toward him. Jason shrugged. "Maybe they don't think it works in real life." Tina looked at him, her smile softening. "Maybe real life needs a little more trying." There was a moment, just a beat too long, where her eyes stayed on his. Jason looked away, heat crawling up the side of his neck. The door didn't open that night. Derek didn't come home. Jason ended up staying until almost 2 a.m. He helped Tina carry some boxes to the storage closet, and as they stood at the narrow hallway, the air seemed thicker than it should have been. Tina leaned against the wall and sighed. "He's always tired. Always distracted. It's like, I don't exist unless I'm in his way," she muttered. Jason didn't know what to say. He wasn't a therapist. He wasn't her friend, not really. He was Derek's best friend. That line mattered. Or it should have. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. Tina looked up at him with tired eyes, then smiled. "Not your fault. I just wish someone saw me the way I used to be." Jason felt that smile hit somewhere it shouldn't have. When he finally left that night, the walk back to his apartment felt too quiet. He kept replaying that moment, the look she gave him, the way her fingers brushed his arm when she took the flashlight from him. Nothing had happened. Nothing wrong, at least on paper. But something had changed. And Jason knew it. The next day Derek called. "Sorry about yesterday, bro. I crashed at Mason's place after the meeting ran late." "How was Tina?" Jason hesitated. "She was fine. We just watched a movie." "You're a lifesaver, man," Derek said, and that was the end of it. Jason stared at his phone long after the call ended, fingers gripping it like a grenade. He wasn't sure what he was holding on to, loyalty, guilt, or something else entirely. He tried not to think about Tina's words. Maybe real life needs a little more trying. The seed was planted. And Jason knew from experience, what you water grows. Jason didn't mean to go back the next day. But he had left his jacket behind. And at least that's what he told himself when he texted Tina around noon. "Jason. Hey, left my jacket at yours. Mind if I swing by?" "I'm home." Doors open. The door was unlocked just like she said. Jason stepped inside slowly, almost cautiously, like the apartment itself had changed overnight. Tina was in the kitchen, barefoot, stirring something in a pot. "Smells good," Jason said, hanging back near the entryway. She turned around with a soft smile. "Just soup. For one." He hesitated. "I can go if it's a bad time." Tina wiped her hands and leaned against the counter. "If it were a bad time, I wouldn't have said yes." Jason nodded slowly. He picked up his jacket from the back of the couch, but didn't make a move to leave. "You want some?" she asked. He paused again, just long enough. "Yeah, sure." They ate together on the couch, bowls warm in their hands, the TV on mute this time. Felt different. Not forced, but suspended, like they both knew this wasn't what they should be doing, yet neither of them moved to stop it. Afterward, Tina leaned back against the cushions, staring up at the ceiling fan. "I used to think love meant effort," she said quietly. "Like if you cared, you tried. Even if you got it wrong." Jason looked at her profile. "You don't think that anymore." Tina shook her head, still looking upward. "I think some people stop trying the moment they think they've won. Like the work is over after you say, 'I love you.' But it's not. It's never over." He didn't answer. Not right away. Then, "I think effort matters more than perfect." She turned her head toward him, meeting his eyes. "Exactly." Jason knew he should leave. He could feel the warning bells, like the moment before thunder when the air thickens and time stretches. But his feet didn't move. Instead, Tina leaned closer. "You've always seen me." Even when he didn't, she said. Jason's throat tightened. "Don't do that." "Do what?" "That," he said, barely audible. "Don't say things like that." Tina smiled faintly. "Why not?" "Because they're true." She was close now. Close enough that he could see the freckle just above her lip, the softness in her eyes, the edge of a vulnerability she didn't show often. "Jason," she said, her voice almost a whisper, "what if we weren't pretending?" Jason froze. The air between them pulsed. 1,000 images flashed in his mind. Derek's laugh, late-night beers, loyalty, guilt, memories. And Tina. Always Tina. She reached out and placed her hand on his. He didn't move. When she leaned in and kissed him, it wasn't hungry. It wasn't even bold. It was quiet. It was what she'd been holding back. It was everything he'd tried to deny. And he kissed her back. Just once. But once was enough. The sound of a car door slammed outside, shattering the silence. Tina pulled away quickly. Jason shot up from the couch, heart racing. "Is that?" he started. She nodded. "Derek." Jason wiped his mouth like it would erase what had happened. He grabbed his jacket, muttered something he couldn't remember, and slipped out the back. His heart didn't stop pounding until he got home. He didn't sleep that night. He lay in bed replaying the kiss, the look in her eyes, the weight of what had happened. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a shift. Line crossed. A door opened that couldn't be shut again. He checked his phone. No messages. But then, in the middle of the night, it buzzed. "Tina." "I couldn't stop thinking about it." "You didn't even hesitate." Jason stared at the screen. He didn't reply. But he didn't delete it either. The next morning he went for a long walk. Passed by the park, the coffee shop he and Derek used to hit on weekends. Saw families, couples, people with dogs and reasons to be honest. He didn't feel like himself anymore. And the worst part, a piece of him didn't want to. Jason avoided Derek for days. He ignored the group chat, skipped their usual pickup basketball game, and left Derek's last 2 calls unanswered. He told himself it was about work, about stress. But deep down he knew what it really was. He was hiding. From Derek. From Tina. From himself. The guilt came in waves, sharp, sudden, and overwhelming. Then came the silence that followed, where he found himself staring at his phone, expecting a text that never came. Tina hadn't messaged him again. That one message, "You didn't even hesitate," had hung in his mind like a banner he couldn't pull down. He couldn't decide if she was accusing him or thanking him. By the 5th day, Derek showed up at his apartment unannounced. Jason heard the knock and knew instantly. Only Derek knocked like that. 3 sharp hits and 1 soft one, like a beat he couldn't unlearn. He opened the door slowly. "Dude," Derek said, grinning. "You alive?" Jason forced a laugh. "Barely. Just buried in a project." "Yeah, Tina said you've been MIA," Derek replied, stepping in without waiting for permission. "She thought maybe you were mad or something." Jason's stomach turned. "No, just work." Derek dropped onto the couch like it was his own. "You good though?" Jason nodded too fast. "Yeah, totally." But his voice sounded wrong, even to his own ears. Derek leaned back, stretching. "Man, I've been a mess lately. Work's killing me. Tina's been patient though. More than I deserve, honestly." Jason blinked. "She's been amazing," Derek continued. "I know I haven't been great. But I've been trying, you know. Last night we actually talked. Like really talked. It felt good." Jason's hands went cold. "I think I just forgot how lucky I am," Derek said, chuckling to himself. "She stayed when a lot of girls would have walked." Jason looked away. Derek's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and stood up. "Gotta head back to the office. I just wanted to check on you. You're my brother, man. Don't disappear on me." Jason nodded numbly. "Yeah, won't happen again." As the door closed behind Derek, Jason collapsed onto the couch, elbows on his knees.